Today we're going to talk public land scouting, and more specifically public land scouting with maps. The first thing I always do when I'm scouting public land from home using maps is I contact the agency that manages that piece of ground. These places are usually going to have a map or a brochure at the area that shows trailheads and different trails, parking areas, access points if you will, that a lot of times aren't always going to be on your Google Earth type mapping services. And these access points are going to show us where hunting pressure is likely to be high, where it's likely to be low, where people can get to easily, where they can't get to as easily. And that brings me right to access areas, identifying hunting pressure. It kind of goes hand in hand here. Looking at places that may be harder to reach, whether there's a couple really steep hills to get over, or a river, a creek, anywhere that's going to be a little bit tougher for somebody to reach on foot. Those are the types of things that can separate you from the crowd and let you hunt a piece of ground that's got a lot less hunting pressure on it. Once you identify those areas that have likely got the lowest amount of hunting pressure on them, then it's time to start doing the more traditional scouting, looking for areas of high percentages of deer activity, food, water, pinch points, shelves. Look at your topographical maps and how things flow together. Look at your aerial maps and see where pinch points, thin pieces, and pieces of timber may come together, or field edges. Those more traditional types of things that we would look for if we were hunting any piece of ground. And really, to wrap it all up, the last thing I do is I make a map. Whether it's on Google Earth and I draw in all the the hiking and biking and equestrian trails and parking areas, or I just print an aerial map off and go ahead and do it all by hand just using a Sharpie. You can identify, circle those areas of interest, mark possible stand locations. That way when you get there, actually on the ground scouting, you've got your key, you've got your map with you to show you where to go and where you're likely to see other hunters, places that you can avoid.